Hi, Nick Veach here. I've been checking out a lot of Randall Carlson lately, looking at some of his deluge hypothesis stuff and about how it had this massive impact upon the terrain of North America, carving out these massive river valleys, these just flood after flood after flood, especially I think the impact of, I think Chinese they call tushirle, what do you call that? That's instead of like the flow of water, it's a flow of mud and rock and that kind of thing. Just tearing through the landscape and just totally reshaping everything. Anyway, so I've been becoming immersed in that, and then I came across this one. It's like, this is a show put up by PBS, and it's called "It's Okay to Be Smart." It's okay, guys. We got a safe space for you. It's right in. Come on in, huddle. Give us a huddle. Give us a cuddle too, boys. Yeah, that's it. It's okay. It's okay to be smart. And I figure with something this condescendingly titled and pretentious, and just pandering to like the lowest IQ of the population while pretending to be sciencey, and had an episode called "How Was the Grand Canyon Formed?" Oh, boys, this just had to be good. So I checked it out. Okay, let's check out the degenerates in progress. Notice the richly layered dialogue. You know, if I had a 4.5 minute clip, because that's how long it is, if I had 4.5 minutes to make a clip on something, I don't know how I would manage. I mean, I would be just like stressing out, like I've got a million and one things I want to say. I got like half an hour worth of material I got to try to cram into 4.5 minutes. These guys have so little, I mean, it's just basically nothing to say that they just waste your goddamn time with this music.
Pretty awesome, isn't it? The Grand Canyon is one of the most spectacular natural wonders on Earth.
Why are you wasting my time telling me what the Grand Canyon is? You got 4.5 minutes. It's 277 miles long, 18 miles. Yeah, thank you very much. How is the Grand Canyon formed? Why are you wasting time?
277 miles long, 18 miles wide at its widest, and more than a mile deep into Earth's
Shut up.
crust. And unlike...
Say something useful. Seriously, as soon as I heard this, I was like, oh my god, no, he's not going to do this. Is he really going to insult my intelligence with running off these imbecile statistics? I mean, come on. Oh.
the Great Wall of China, you can actually see it from space.
Well, thanks. Now that helps explain a lot. How is the Grand Canyon formed? Well, you can see it from space, unlike the Great Wall of China, don't you know? That's a fancy fact right there, boys.
All of the water in all of the world's rivers would only fill it halfway.
Say something about how the damn canyon was formed.
Almost defies belief. The Colorado River, the river that made this canyon, is only about 100 meters wide. That's
the best argument you could make about how the river could not possibly have made the canyon. You moron. That is 100 meters wide. I know he's going to say, of course, the weather was different earlier on, but come on. Nobody thinks that a 100 meter wide river carved out the canyon. At least I presume nobody would be that silly. Come on.
Big as rivers go. The Mississippi, the Amazon are far, far bigger. And
the Mississippi and the Amazon are far, far bigger. Thanks so much. Jeez, I didn't know that. But that's a big dollop of science you're throwing in there. How was the Grand Canyon formed? I don't know. It's 100 meters wide. That explains everything because it's so super small. We got the Amazon and the Mississippi. They're huge. They don't have big canyons. But don't worry about that, boys. We're bringing in the science real quick.
So, how did it happen? No one was around to see it form, but its story is written in all of those beautiful rock layers.
Nobody was around to see it form. More insulting of the viewer's intelligence. Jeez, really? That straightens me out. I thought maybe there was people running around with the dinosaurs in the whole damn yard, or thing, or whatever. Losing my mind here.
Geologists are kind of like time-traveling detectives. They look for trace the footsteps to retell Earth's story as best as we can.
Please don't tell me they're like time-traveling scientists. I mean, come on, you got 4.5 minutes. Is this going to be like total filler from beginning to end? All right, on with the punishment.
And the Native American people in this area call this canyon Kaibab, which means...
So we're so politically correct we have to bring the Native Americans. I grew up in 6 countries. The last thing you want to do, in my case anyway, is telling me that the local people they're a store of ancient wisdom. Because when I lived with the Irish, and the Scottish, and the Nigerians, and the Ugandans, and the Americans, and the Canadians, and the Taiwanese, a smart person is a smart person. And most kind of ancient, so-called, local wisdom, folk wisdom, is often just complete rubbish. Of course, there's some awesome stuff. I mean, I love this. I love the work that Randall Carlson does on this, and others. Graham Hancock was the name I was reaching for. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for that. But just this kind of, like I say, politically correct kind of go-to. We have to go to the Native Americans or whoever lived there.
Mountain lying down, or upside down mountain. And they didn't know how right they were, because down there at the bottom of the canyon, the oldest rocks are mountains. The oldest rocks at the bottom of the canyon are named after the Hindu god Vishnu.
Yeah, there you go. So we'll bring in the Native Americans, and then we'll tell you that the bottom of the canyon is named after the Hindu god Vishnu. So which aliens are we talking about here? Does any of this make any sense? What I mean by that is just that he's just throwing in anything, and it's just filler. It's just filler.
1.8 billion years ago, the area that's now the Grand Canyon was covered in mountains taller than the Himalayas. But over hundreds of millions of years, erosion wore them down into hills just tens of meters tall. From this point on, the evolution of the Grand Canyon doesn't happen in a dry desert like you see today. It happens underwater. Ancient
come on.
Ocean a billion years ago to as recently as 80 million years ago. That water would rise and fall and rise and fall again, depositing sand and mud and even ancient seashells, compressing them into rock, piling layer upon layer. And
this is going somewhere, right?
Creating this colorful layer cake just waiting to be cut.
Oh, that's what a layer cake looks like. Oh, cool.
But you might notice we're not at sea level right now. About 70 or 80 million years ago, this whole area took a tectonic elevator ride straight up, creating this high plateau. But there was still no river and no canyon. Northeast of here, that same uplift created the Rocky Mountains and their snow-covered peaks. Melting snow began to flow and pool up in this area. Small rivers joined together to make larger ones. Some pooled up into lakes. Some even changed direction. And about 5 or 6 million years ago, the Colorado River was born. That's not that old.
So small rivers pull into larger rivers, rivers pull into lakes, and they change directions. And how does that tell me how the Grand Canyon formed? We're 2 minutes and 50 seconds into your video.
Old in geological time, but this river is special. It drops 10 feet for every mile that it travels and carries 500,000 tons of silt and sand and rocks downstream every day. It's like liquid sandpaper.
Okay, so we're finally getting somewhere.
Cut the plateau backwards, the same way that a waterfall wears away at a cliff.
Entree le soy boy, deuxième. Jesus.
Cutting this mile-deep scar like a hot knife through butter.
Rubbish.
Excuse me, we're wondering, where's the Grand Canyon? Do you know where? We're trying to find, the Grand Canyon.
Here's an idea. So that's how it got deep. But how did the canyon get so wide?
More filler. We have nothing to say. More filler. So we can introduce 2 soy boys into the thing for a little comic whatever, and it's not even funny anyway. Anyway, back to the subject matter. So, how did the canyon get so wide? Well, gravity took over. Oh, gravity? Well, jeez, I never thought of that before.
Well, gravity took over. Rain and ice chipping away at the canyon walls, and as it fell, it was carried downstream.
Voila! That's all you need is a cartoon graphic depiction, and voila, that explains everything. There's your science.
Fossils and rocks from this area have even been found downstream almost as far as the Gulf of
More filler. Fossils and rocks been found in the Gulf of California. Thank you very much. You're not explaining. You already finished your explanation. You wasted tons of time prior to the explanation, and then you're already running from it.
California. And that's pretty much how we got the canyon of today. If you want to turn a mountain upside down, all you need is time. This canyon...
What? If you want to turn a mountain upside down, all you need is time. A gorge is an upside down mountain. No, it's not. It's a vacuum. It's an upside down mountain would be a body of rock that was inverted with the apex at the bottom and the base at the top. Anyways, trying too hard to be poetic. Oh, Jesus.
It's still changing. It's getting deeper and wider, and as we continue to study it, the story of this canyon will change too. There's stories like this.
Yeah, I get the feeling it's going to be one of those predictions, like the global warming prediction that there's going to be no more ice on the North Pole by, let's say, the year 1990, and then 1995, and then that didn't work out. Then 2000, 2005, 2010, 2015, and so forth. It's going to be one of these kinds of predictions. So the gorge was created over the last few million years, and another few million years it's just going to just plummet down another mile or two into the Earth's crust. I mean, come on.
This locked in Earth's crust.
I mean, if this was the case, you'd expect the same thing of every other river. I mean, how many rivers have silt? I mean, the Mississippi is full of silt. It's called Old Muddy. Yeah, right. You got the Yellow River in China, which has got massive amounts of silt. Massive. There's no where are the huge gorges, right? You do have huge gorges in China, but they're in the Yangtze River. Wrong river. Whoops. What about your paradigm? And and interestingly too, with the Yellow River in China, what happens is the more silt that the river brings down, the higher the river bed grows. So one of the reasons you have these big floods in China is because the riverbed keeps filling up with silt and goes up, and it rises above the land. So the river kind of grows into this kind of hill, and it's riding on top of the hill, a hill made from its own silt. And then once in a while you get a big flow, and then it breaks through the silt and it runs down the hill directly into the plains, and that's how you get these massive floods, right? Here, dude's saying, well, because you have all this silt, it's just cutting through the bedrock like hot knife through butter. Well, if that was the case, then why doesn't this happen in China or elsewhere? I just don't buy this kind of easy pat solution. Oh, but don't worry. There's stories like this locked in Earth's crust all over the planet, hidden from view. No.
All over the planet, hidden from view.
Yeah.
But that little river has opened this one to us.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Stay curious.
How about start getting curious? What do you mean stay curious? You're completely incurious. I mean, that's the most orthodox version of events I've ever freaking heard. It's okay to be smart? No, it's okay to be safe. Talk about the Indians. Bring in your soy boy buddies. Make a little joke. Have lots of filler. Don't say anything which might cause any kind of controversy. Stay curious. What a laugh. Ugh. Anyway, I shouldn't be belly aching about this. I should not be belly aching about this. I mean, after all, my introduction to Sesame Street was basically this, and Sesame Street, yeah. Is there a difference between Sesame Street and what's this damn show called again? It's okay to be smart. It's okay to be smart. My introduction to PBS was this skit from Sesame Street, and I was like, when I was a kid, my parents didn't let me watch TV very much, and a friend of mine who wasn't allowed to watch TV at all, and when he first watched Sesame Street, he said he was never so insulted in his life. That's pretty much the case. So the intellectual content of this and this PBS show and the other PBS show is about on par. Lots of filler. Lots of filler. Fill up that time, boys.
Oh. Ring. Yip 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 yip.
Look, Jim Henson's a genius, and the manipulation of the puppets here is awesome. It's outstanding, but why waste it on this crap? Yeah, it's for kids in kindergarten. Don't dumb down stuff so much for your kids. That's my advice. It doesn't work. Anyway, all right, enough of my ranting. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.